Hello and welcome to Martin Lucas Investor. My name is Sensei and welcome to the Morning Forecast Show where I don't know what's just popped up on the screen there. Let me take that off. That's interesting. There we go. We've got the first XRP ETF. I'll tell you exactly what I mean by that coming up shortly. Every morning we go live to look at the forecast, whether it's going to be a rainy, thundery day in the markets, if it's going to be a calm day in the markets where we get a bit of sideways action, or if it's going to be one of those days where we get big pumps and everyone makes money. Let's get straight into the news of what I mean by the XRP ETF has been approved, because it has. We've got the first ever XRP ETF. It's not solely an XRP ETF, but we've got the first ever spot ETF that's probably going to come onto the market this week or next, and it's the Grayscale Crypto ETF, and that has been approved by the SEC. So this is a big piece of information. If you are live here with us or if you're watching this later, please do hit the like button. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe as well. We've got Grayscale's crypto ETF, which was its digital large cap fund. Is now going to be changed into a spot ETF. It was only previously available for institutional investors. You can see it here on Grayscale's website. And you can see the fact sheet over here. Excuse me, I had to sneeze there. So GDLC, Grayscale's Digital Large Cap Fund, and as of I've got to sneeze again. I apologize. As of the 31st of May 2025, this was the composition of the fund: 80% Bitcoin, 11% Ethereum, 5% XRP, 3% Solana, and 1% ADA. Those are what it comprises of. Those top 5 cryptos. I like all of them. Don't really invest in Bitcoin. Don't really invest in Ethereum. I definitely like XRP. I like Solana, even though I think Solana's a bit overpriced. I definitely like ADA as well. So it is a very interesting ETF that is now going to be public, and it's the first time we'll see XRP exposure on the US markets, the spot exposure for XRP. And let's read the story now. So interestingly, the market is sort of behind on this news. I don't think they've fully digested how big this news is and how quickly this ETF is coming to market. So the United States Security and Exchange Commission has approved Grayscale's request to convert its digital large cap fund, GDLC, into a spot exchange. I'm going to sneeze again. I apologize. Don't know what's going on. I've definitely got hay fever coming in now. Is to convert its digital large cap fund into a spot exchange traded fund, an ETF, effective July the 1st, 2025. So yesterday this news came out. They have got their approval to convert their digital large cap fund into an ETF. The ETF, which will list on the New York Stock Exchange, holds a diversified mix of cryptocurrencies, approximately 80% Bitcoin, 11% Ethereum, and under 5% of each Solana, XRP, and ADA, managing nearly 775 million in assets, previously limited to accredited investors through the over-the-counter markets. The conversion opens retail and institutional access to regulated multi-asset crypto exposure. The regulatory milestone marks the first US listed ETF to offer exposure beyond Bitcoin and Ethereum, setting a precedent for diversified crypto products. The SEC's swift approval indicates regulatory comfort with such vehicles after months of dialogue with issuers. For investors, the move enhances liquidity, price discovery, and narrows arbitrage gaps from Grayscale's closed-end trusts. The decision could open the door for more spot ETF covering a wider spectrum of digital assets, potentially serving as a test case for further altcoin integration. While the exact first trading date has not been officially announced, market reports reporting a regulatory filing indicates that uplisting and trading could occur as early as this week. Massive, massive, massive news. The first time we're seeing something other than Bitcoin and Ethereum be put into that ETF category in the United States, the spot ETF category. What we've got here is the GLDC, previously limited to accredited investors, is now going to turn into an ETF that has been approved by the SEC. And not only is that bullish, as people are going to be buying XRP, Solana, and ADA now when they buy this, it also sets the precedent that XRP spot ETF by itself is coming soon, Solana spot ETF by itself is coming soon, and ADA spot ETF is coming soon as well. They wouldn't be approving this Grayscale digital large cap fund if they weren't going to be approving XRP, Solana, and Cardano funds by themselves. But this is the first time we will ever see XRP traded under a spot ETF, and it is wrapped in a basket of other top cryptos. This I am basically 100% confident we'll get an XRP spot ETF now. I'm basically the same amount of confident that we'll get a Solana and ADA ETF as well. But much more confident that we'll get an XRP ETF. So this is massive news, and it's the markets aren't even reacting to it. And we've got ADA up the most out of the three tokens, up 3.65%. We've got XR, we've got Bitcoin up 1.76%. We've got XRP up 0.38%, and we've got, if I have a look for Solana, where is it on my watch list? Solana's up 1.28%. So they're not even reacting that massively at the moment. I'm sure the price will catch up to the news. If not, their individual spot ETFs are coming out very, very soon as well. But for anyone who just joined, XRP Army, this is what we've been waiting for. The first ever XRP spot ETF has been approved. No, it's not a pure XRP spot ETF. It is a basket of goods, but it is only basketed with three other cryptocurrencies, and the ones are Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Cardano. XRP has a significant chunk of 5%. We are still waiting for the individual XRP spot ETF, but in my opinion, that's coming up in the next few months. I'm very, very confident in that. But that is historic news, and not only is this news by itself, we've also got Weebus surges on $100 million XRP deal, and then it tumbles. But this is big. I don't really mind what the stock's doing. I mind what they're doing with their XRP. And if you haven't heard about this, this was in our newsletter 2 weeks ago. If you don't have the newsletter, the link is pinned in the live comment section. If you're watching this later, it will be the first link in the description. We also have a poll running. Why don't you have the newsletter? I want to see what the main reasons are for you guys not having the newsletter. Right now is don't see the value. Well, one of the reasons I think it's valuable, 2 weeks ago, this was not mainstream news. We brought it on the news before anyone else was covering it. And then today, or a couple of days ago, you saw that massive spike of over 100% where you could have taken profits. So you have the news before most other places have the news. That is one of the perks of the newsletter. I'm going to talk about this Weebus surges on $100 million XRP deal because it's a big story. But first, bear with me for about 10 seconds while I get something to sort out my allergies. I'll be back in 5 seconds. I am back. Thank you for bearing with me for that. So yes, this is. I apologise for that. Don't think I've ever done that. So the Weebus surges on $100 million XRP deal, then tumbles. So what do I mean? Nasdaq listed Webus International Limited, ticker symbol WETO, has secured a conditional $100 million equity line of credit from Ripple Strategy Holding um, to support its XRP treasury strategy. The announcement sparked extreme volatility with shares surging 130% intraday before closing at $2. The stock opened at $4.18, ranging from $1.89 to $4.18, a 115% intraday move. The 24-month facility enables drawdowns from 250,000 to 3 million per tranche pending SEC regulation and underwriting approval. So what we've got here is basically what MicroStrategy is doing. We've got another company looking to have Ripple as a reserve asset to hopefully grow it in terms of value, but also to use XRP's technology. So it's a double whammy. It's not just like Bitcoin where you come in and you hold it and it serves no use apart from a treasury. We've got XRP strategic treasuries now, where not only do you own it because you think it's going to go up in price, you own it because you're going to use its technology. And there's more and more companies adopting this strategy, and Webus is one of them. Their market cap is tiny, 50 million or something like that, and they're looking to buy $100 million worth of XRP. So funds will back XRP-driven initiatives, including crypto payments, loyalty programs, and international expansion across North America and Asia Pacific. So you can see they're actually going to use it as well: crypto payments, loyalty programs, and international expansion. CEO Nan Zheng called the deal flexible for strategic capital access with minimal shareholder dilution. This follows Webus's 300 million XRP treasury plan announced in May of 25. The move signals mounting institutional XRP interest, echoing strategies from Vivo Power and others. The 130% spike and rapid fade underscores speculative enthusiasm and investor caution, particularly with Webus' small $49 million market cap and conditional structure of funding. A 100 million XRP play lit the fuse, but fade shows traders are quick to cash gains when execution risk looms. Until Webus proves utility, expect more fireworks as well. So having a look at this stock, Webus you can see what happened on the day. This was yesterday's trading. You can see it pumped over 85% and then it came all the way back down. So there is definitely, in my opinion, some opportunity here. Again, not financial advice, is my thoughts and opinions only. Someone's just said, don't know what to click on the poll. Already subscribed to newsletter, aka not dad. Well, even if you've subscribe to the newsletter, thank you for doing so. You can press what you want more of. Do you want more perks? You can press want more perks. There's nothing wrong with wanting more perks. If you don't like the inbox spam, I don't know. But I understand what you mean. Sorry, Paul D. I should have put an option for if you're already subscribed, but you only have 4 options. But I'm sure you can say you want more perks, and we'll give you more perks. So all of this information was in the newsletter. The newsletter's link I'm going to put in the live chat one more time. Go and sign up to newsletter because you get the news before the news comes out. And we had this covered 2 weeks ago, and you saw the effect yesterday. Yes, it's a big red candle down. However, it pumped 100% before this even occurred. So there you go. You got the information before it even came out, and that's the Webus story as well with the XRP deal. So the newsletter link is in the comment section. It's also the first link in the description. When you click it, you'll go to a page like this. This link gives you a 7-day free trial on the annual plan. Try it out, cancel it if you don't like it. It's about 35p a day, and what you get is every single main story of the day. We do like to cover the XRP stories because I do enjoy doing those stories. So today you had the FTSE story, the ETF story, the Webus story, the SEC's fast-tracking ETF listing story, the Trump Big Beautiful Bill story, the Rachel Reeves story from the UK, the chart of the day, ADA, Cardano, my buy points, my areas that I'm not looking at, and that I'm looking to buy and sell. You get what's going on in the week. You get the deep dive. You get extra newsletters where we interview CEOs and we do deeper dives, and all of that for about 30 cents a day. You don't need Bloomberg. You don't need Reuters. You get all the news straight to your inbox, to your app, to your web page, and you've got the community on the newsletter, all for 30 cents a day, and you get a 7-day free trial to try it out. If you don't want to pay, you can also get a free plan as well, where you don't get as much, but you still get something. It's definitely worth signing up, or there's a monthly plan as well. So go and sign up for the newsletter. The link is there. Let's have a look at some of your questions. We do also have another story as well, about the ETFs as well. So the SEC considers 75-day fast track for crypto ETF listings. The Security and Exchange Commission is reportedly developing a streamlined crypto ETF approval process that could bypass the traditional 19B4 filing requirement and reduce listing timelines to just 75 days. Right now, we're about 245 days. We have to wait until we get a decision. According to a Fox Business reporter, Eleanor Terrett, the SEC is conducting early stage discussions with exchanges to establish standardized listing criteria for token based ETFs, potentially revolutionizing how crypto investment products reach markets. Under the proposed framework, ETF issuers meeting specific token eligibility standards could skip the lengthy 19B4 application process entirely and file only an S1 registration statement. If the SEC raises no objections within the 75-day review period, the ETF would automatically receive listing approval, eliminating the back and forth negotiations that currently extend approval timelines to 6 to 8 months. The eligibility criteria remained undisclosed through sources. Those sources suggest market capitalization, trading volume, and liquidity thresholds are under consideration. The SEC declined to comment when contacting about this initiative. So, why does this matter? The regulatory shift could unlock a wave of crypto ETF launches by addressing the current approval bottleneck that has created extensive backlogs at the SEC. Bloomberg analysts Eric Bonchus and James Serafin recently raised their altcoin ETF approval odds to over 90% by the end of 2025, with final details for pending applications including Litecoin, Dogecoin, Solana, XRP ETF set for October. The streamlined process arrives as the SEC faces mounting pressure from asset managers that have already approved the final state crypto ETF, though REX shares Solana ETF stacks through RTX shares Solana ETF. However, the success hinges on tokens which qualify for fast track treatment, potentially creating a tiered system that favors established cryptocurrencies with robust market metrics over emerging assets. Which is fine. I think the ones that are established cryptocurrencies like XRP should have preferential treatment because they are more they should be ETFs. We don't want scam tokens becoming ETFs just because they fill criteria. And this is great news. I think it's a little bit too late. I think we'll get this XRP ETFs approved before this even becomes a thing. But you can see the SEC are moving in the right direction. Um, so um, that's my thoughts on it. I mean, you're moving away from a 245-day approval period where they have to say yes or no to a 75-day, which is obviously much better. But I think when you look at yesterday's newsletter, if we go to yesterday's newsletter here, and you go to the table we created for you guys yesterday, and you see the 245-day final SEC deadline. Yes, it can come before if they approve it or deny it before, but they have to approve it or deny it by these dates. You're looking at October for an XRP, Solana, and Litecoin ETF to be approved. July, August, September. You're looking a few months' time. I don't think the 75-day rule would even come to effect then. Even if it does, it needs to happen in the next month for it to be quicker than these deadlines. So I do expect by October or throughout October to have an XRP ETF, a Litecoin ETF, a Solana ETF, and going into November to start seeing more XRP ETFs, Dogecoin, Cardano, Polkadot, HBAR, and Avalanche. As you can see, the odds have approved to 95% for the XRP, Solana, and Litecoin ETFs. I expect all of this to come to fruition this year. So it's good that the SEC are moving to a quicker ETF approval process, but I think it's a bit too late. I think it's not going to really have an effect on XRP at this point because we're only a few months away from having to get an answer from the SEC. And today we saw the first XRP ETF get approved. And what do I mean by that? I mean we've got the GDLC, Grayscale digital large cap fund, being converted into an ETF, so that investors all around the world can get involved, um, not just accredited investors. And you've got about 5% of that fund dedicated to XRP. Let me see if there's any other information here. There is a 2.5% management fee annually for this as well. I would much rather just hold the crypto myself, or wait for the spot ETFs, which will have a lower fee because they don't have to play around with the composition. Let me go to the XRP price as well. ADA was the chart of the day. So let me I realized I left the Robinhood charts. Let me just delete that for a second. So I am going to show you the XRP chart and where I think this is going to go, as well as the ADA chart, because the ADA chart looks pretty undervalued in my opinion. So let me go here. I'm just going to amend something on the newsletter. How do I do this again? Dashboard. And then we're going to come onto the XRP and ADA chart and all your questions based off this ETF news. And then we're going to cover Rachel Reeves cutting the ISA allowance to about 4,000, which is not very good news. There we go. I think I've done it. Let me check. Yeah, okay. So, in the chart of the day, we are looking at, I don't know why that's not refreshed. Let me check this again. We are looking at ADA. There we go. The chart of the day was ADA, and I'll tell you why. We don't normally go through the charts today, we leave them for our premium subscribers of the newsletter, but today with ADA, I want to bring this to everyone. ADA is part of that ETF news, and I don't think people have been paying attention to ADA for a while. And I think it might start heating up for ADA, especially the fact that it's at a critical level of support. ADA is currently sat around 50 cents, 56 cents. The support was at 50 cents. I do see a downtrend at the moment, but when this downtrend ends, I think ADA can quickly heat up to 74 cents and $1.22. And obviously, if we get the full on bull market, I've got targets of $2, $2.50, and about $4.50 as well in that bull market. Right now, ADA is definitely closer to support than it is resistance. I am buying some myself. Remember, this is not financial advice. Please do not follow me. But ADA is looking like it's at a level of support. And similarly, and it's quite similar to XRP, where XRP has continued to show us support at $2, and I do think this $2.30 mark will break at some point. It failed to do so a couple of days ago. It is trying to break out of this downtrend, so I do think $2.30 will break, and once that breaks, we're looking at $2.62. If it doesn't break, then we're probably going to see $2 as support again, and I'm happy to buy as low as $1.83 or $1.71 if we get that capitulation. But right now, my thoughts are at $2.30 breaking to continue the upside to $2.60. If $2.60 break, then we are basically in all-time high territory, because we'll be straight up to $3. So XRP's chart is not looking too bearish either. I wouldn't really be buying right now unless I get money. If I earn money, then I'll DCA into XRP at these levels. because I am starting to get more and more bullish on XRP, because the news coming out of XRP, or the bullish news coming out for XRP in the last few months has really been ramping up, and I think the big one is about to happen as well, which is the ETF launch for XRP. We are looking at the SEC case closing as well. So I'm going to have a look at your comments. I'm going to react to, I'm going to give you my thoughts on that while we get ready for the Rachel Reeves story as well. But breaking news today: the first ever XRP spot ETF, or XRP in an ETF, is has been approved yesterday, and we are now getting close to a fully XRP spot ETF by itself being approved as well. Tony S says big pumps. Marcus is here. Welcome. We have Brian. Hi all. Hopefully all up from here, standing on the moon. Thank you, Brian, for tuning in to the moon. We're going to have a standing on the moon mug out as well. There is no definitive evidence that spot ETF is live in the US as of July the 2nd. However, here's a summary of it. Rient Bronkhorst, it sounds like using AI. We use AI to help us with some research, but my experience with AI is it's terrible at research. That's why we have the newsletter, because we fact check it ourselves, and there is now an XRP being part of a spot ETF, so be careful. So you're basically your headline is fake hype to get viewers sad. No, an XRP ETF has just got approved. XRP isn't an ETF. There is literally an XRP ETF got approved yesterday. Just because it's not just an XRP ETF doesn't mean it's not an XRP ETF. XRP will overtake Bitcoin in market cap one day. Certainly possible, but I wouldn't bet on it. We've got the XRP army in today. If you are part of the XRP army, please do hit the like button and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Are you happy about this news? I'm sure you are. Randy, what you talk about being fake? Yeah, I don't understand. Silver Days, really no amount of emojis are going to help pump XRP. Randy's here to spoil the fun, it looks like. Good evening, legends. I just hit 2k XRP tonight. I can't wait for it to pump. Congratulations to you, Jay Harrington. We all hope for a pump, and some of us hope for a dump so we can buy some more. We don't really care where it goes because we know where it's going in the future. Didn't know what to click on the poll. Already subscribed to newsletter, aka not that. Thank you, Paul D. Afternoon, everyone. XRP to $10 moon money. Smash the like button, says Stephen. What's your view on the economics of a bull market in crypto? Do you know what ends the bull? Do you know what ends the bull run? What's your view on? There's many factors. You can't bring it down to one thing. You can look at money supply when things start tightening. You can look at when money's no longer being printed. You can look at when the dollar comes up. You can look at Bitcoin dominance. At certain points, Bitcoin dominance at certain levels, you expect altcoin seasons. If it's at lower levels, you expect probably the end of the bull market. You look at sentiment, you look at search terms, you look at followers, you look at fear and greed indexes. There is literally 100 things we look at, and then obviously the technicals and the lower highs and the larger time frames and the bearish divergences. What's your view on the economics of bull run? Do you know what ends the bull run? I don't think there's a single thing that ends the bull run. It's a multiple. It's a lot of other things. It's all about. There's quite a few things. Anyway, thank you, the Big O, for your question. James says, Lucasades, if you answer correctly, I'll become a member. The Big O, I don't become a member if you like. Don't become a member if you don't like. I don't think there is a single correct answer to your question. But let me know what you think the answer is. XRP to $2.17. We are at $2.17. Happy Hump Day, Sensei, and all. I don't know what that means, RB. XRP $10 when? So I expect XRP to go to $10 by the end of the year, if not in the next 10 months, I've been saying. So I do think $10 is around the corner. I don't think it requires. It's a 4x from here, and I think a 4x is certainly possible for XRP. Hasn't Solana ETF been approved? Just Spot Solana that's going to be launched today. Yes, Thomas MC. I think I haven't deep dived into it, but I'm pretty sure that's what has happened for Solana. Um, or it's something similar to a Solana Spot ETF. Where was I? I do get the newsletter. Love the courage and speed. I get it. Great work, Sensei. Oh, Jane Packed, thank you so much. Are you a paid or free subscriber? Because I know there's a lot of value for the free subscribers and a lot more value for the paid subscribers. I just want to know if you're enjoying it as a free or paid member. Jam Packed. I'm very happy you like the newsletter. I actually bought some more ADA today. Jay Harrington, we did it together. XRP is a right. Okay, Ron Ross doesn't know the facts. It's someone else who's probably going to be buying the top. He's going to be our exit liquidity when Ron Ross is hating XRP now, and when XRP is at $10, and he starts FOMOing in, we're going to be selling, and he's going to be our exit liquidity. Markets don't react at all. Not for now, not for this ETF, but I'm sure they will for the solid XRP ETF. I think that they're only buying 4% of XRP with that ETF that came out, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, about 4 to 5%. XRP needs some Viagra, says A1 Stake. Should I sell my XRPs, Ron Ross? Yes, so sell your XRP so it moons. Ripple IPO at the top should end the bull market. Yeah, we can have one final spike with the Ripple IPO. I mean, Coinbase's IPO ended the bull market last time, so Ripple's IPO could also end the bull market depending on when they IPO. But I would expect that to cause a lot of FOMO beforehand, and maybe that shows the top. Hey, Stephen, Wednesday is hump day. All right, didn't know that. Martin sent me, says Paul D. Oh, brilliant. Is Martin live on X? Should we go see what Martin's up to on X? I don't know if Martin is live. Oh, yeah. He has posted on X. Let me repost that. There we go. Sensei Hump Day is Wednesday, midweek hump. Oh, right. Never heard of it. ETF, not fully. I'm going to start my own channel as no one knows what the answer is to what controls the end of the bull market. I do. For bingo, let us know what your thoughts are. I can almost guarantee it's not a single thing, but that's fine. We all have our own opinions. We've got another story we'll want to cover as well. I'm just trying to think if it's better to do another stream later focused on it. Yeah, I think that's what I would do. I've got Rachel Reeves' story. Oh, here we go. We've got a comment from Sasha Lantier about the newsletter. I do not have enough money to afford it at the moment. Hello, lads. Sasha, there's no problem at all. There is a monthly plan. There is a free plan as well, to at least get something while you accumulate the funds if you want to get the newsletter. And one thing a lot of people have been saying is they've been paying for Financial Times or Bloomberg or this and that, and now they just love the newsletter because they don't have to pay for those subscriptions. Or a lot of people never paid for those subscriptions anyway, but they love getting the news every morning as well. So let me see what the results of that poll were. And what's stopping you signing up for the newsletter? Don't see the value, don't know where to sign, don't see the value 48%, don't know where to sign up 15%, want more perks 12%, afraid of inbox spam 25%. So let me go through each of them. So afraid of inbox spam, the good thing about what we use at the moment for the newsletter, we use something called Substack. It's basically the YouTube of newsletters. You find other newsletters on there. It's a website, it's an app, it is also in the inbox. So what you can actually do is you can customize how you get your notifications. So you can just have the app and then you can get the notification on the app, or you can turn the notifications off on the app and you can go and look at it on the app, or you can look at it on the website as well. So if you're afraid of inbox spam, you can choose not to get the email as well. You can choose to go on the app or the website to get it. So that is the answer to the inbox spam. So that is no longer an excuse for anyone. Want more perks, 12%. I'm always going to consistently work to give you guys more perks, and I'm looking into different ways to add more things. So as soon as you subscribe, or the ones that have already paid members, I will think of something like getting all the charting patterns, for example, and putting them onto a sheet and giving it to you as a PDF if you subscribe, or getting a budgeting spreadsheet and stuff like that to just continue adding perks. And obviously, the more we grow, the more I can invest into it. Don't know where to sign up 15% of you. So for the 15% of you that don't know where to subscribe, there is the link. And 48% of you, this is the biggest one, don't see the value. So let me explain to you what the newsletter is, so then maybe you can understand the value. So it is a newsletter we've created in the last couple months. It is one that takes up about 4 hours. I put into this every single day. If not more, at least 4 hours, because that's how long it takes to do the daily morning one. So you get a daily newsletter. So it's no noise, no recycled headlines. It is 5 things you need to know before the market opens, and it goes out every single day, about half an hour, about an hour. If you look at the time right now, go back an hour. That's when it normally comes out every day. And it has the 5 things you need to know. So you go onto the newsletter, you can see what the 5 top headlines are. The Trump trade agenda falls short. You get 2 paragraphs of what it is. You get my thoughts as well. The Canada scraps tech tax. I think this is from yesterday. You get the top stories, the 5 things you need to know. And that's basically all the news you really need for the day. You get the chart of the day. So at the bottom of the newsletter, what you have is the chart of the day section, where it tells you exactly my thoughts on a specific crypto or stock that we're looking at, and that's at an important level. And you can get to see what my support resistance levels are, and you can learn about the charts. You get the big story breakdowns, deep dives on stocks and crypto that matter. So every morning, this happens every single day, your knowledge just goes through the roof. I mean, if you read this newsletter every day, you will start picking up things that no one else knows about, and you will start understanding markets like you never have before. Um, the deeper dive section really helps with that as well. For example, yesterday was the Ripple versus SEC. We took away all the noise. We took away all the people on X that are just there for trying to get clicks. We told you exactly what's happening, the turn of the events, what it means, the market impact, what happens next. Is it good for XRP? All that sort of stuff. And if I go on to the newsletter here, you can see today's one as well. You can see um, yesterday's one as well. So this one's yesterday's, the Bloomberg ETF approval forecast analyst confidence. So you got every single thing about who these Bloomberg analysts are, how they've increased their XRP and ETF confidence, what they're up to. You got the exact news from the source. You then got a personalized made table that I made for you guys to know exactly what the odds are and when the final SEC 245 day is. The 245 day is very important, because that's when they have to make a decision whether they approve it or deny it. There's no more delays. So I wanted to make that for you. This table doesn't exist anywhere else. You get the red flags. You get what the price predictions are from some analysts. For example, Solana to $520 and XRP to $30. You get the odds of approval and all that sort of stuff. And this happens every single day. You get deep dives every single day. You get the exclusive insights from Evtol. We've got Vaz, who works on a Saturday newsletter most Saturdays, where he it's a new emerging market that has a great potential and that people haven't realized yet, just like Tesla to 5-10 years ago when no one really believed in it. The same thing is happening with Evtols, and we are looking at the emerging players and keeping you up to date every Saturday. You also have big story breakdowns, so you get deep dives as well. So not only in the morning insights, where you get every morning, when we see a big story that we need to deep dive on, we give it to you separately as well as its own newsletter. So what you get is all of these: the daily market forecast, deep dives into high impact stocks, crypto and tech projects, chart breakdowns, Evtol specials, full community access on the Substack app. We've got a community there building where we answer each other's questions. We create threads. You guys talk directly to me, and the threads are great. You can see if I show you this. you can see that this is the conversations happening within the Substack app. Anytime, for example, the other day when crypto was crashing, we were talking to each other and sharing ideas. Um, and that works out to 33 cents a day. And you get a 7-day free trial. So it's less than 33 cents a day, but it's about $10 a month if you go on the yearly plan. And I mean, if I wasn't creating this, I would have loved a newsletter like this. There is nothing like this out there. So do consider it. You get, as I said, if you're afraid of inbox spam, you can just get it on the app as well. If you already got the newsletter, make sure you download the app as well. So that is about the newsletter. Let me give you the link one final time. There it is in the live chat. We can end that poll now. Let's start another poll. Should we start a poll about XRP? Start poll. 10 $10 XRP this year. Let's see what you guys think. I know we've got the XRP army in the show today, so let's see what you guys think. Is there going to be an XRP this $10 this year? Yes. No. Don't want want it to go lower. Don't invest in. Not invested. Let's see. Let's do a poll for that. Have I missed? I would say yes, but I'm prepared for it to be a no as well. Free XRP as a perk. What's your thoughts on the XRPL, EVM sidechains, Wormhole, and Alexa? I don't have any thoughts on that. You can throw in a perk of free Bitcoin for the newsletter. Yeah, should I do that? A free Bitcoin every time you sign up. Good morning, Sensei and the Lucasade family. Sandra, thank you for tuning in. So many good news for XRP, and it's still at $2.18 and $2.20. Did their server freeze lag for a few months, or what's going on? Every news already priced in since a long time ago. Well, I don't think so. I think if you look at it, all this good news is keeping the price where it is. It's not breaking $2. And I think that's key because everyone is annoyed about the price going sideways. But in fact, when you look at other altcoins, they're actually down 80-90% from those highs in December, January of this of last year and this year. That last mini altcoin season we got. Most altcoins are down 80-90%. XRP is only down 50%, really, or 40-50%, holding $2. So what that means is all this good news that's coming out, even though it's not sending it to the moon, it's allowing XRP not to capitulate below $2. So I think it is being priced in, but it's keeping the price propped up and waiting. So it's at value, in my opinion. And when the craze starts again, that's when we get the FOMO. That's when it'll get overvalued, and that's when we might head to $10. So there we go. Yeah, free XRP as a perk. Okay. At this pace, I'll be happy with $3.40. Pele, we all have our own ideas of where we want to take profits. So if we hit $3.40, congratulations if you want to take some profits. I personally might take a little bit of profit at $3.40, maybe some leverage positions if I've got any open, but I'm mainly waiting for $4.70, $5.30, $6.30, $7.40, $8.50, and a moon bag for $11, $13, $18, and $33 this cycle. I will look to buy some more and hold for next cycle where I anticipate we might head to the $50 to $100 range. The SEC has not. Yeah, this is something else. Has the SEC come out and said they're dropping their appeal yet? No, they haven't. And I've seen a lot of fake news on X that they have, but they have not come out and said they're dropping their side of the appeal yet. I'm very confident they will come out and say that, but they haven't yet. I will take a sideways motion on any day while everything is dropping. Yes, just fluffy. I mean, when everything else is down 90% in the crypto market and XRP is going sideways and holding $2, I would take that as a win. Other people would say that's boring, nothing's going on with XRP, but then you look at the other altcoins that are down 90%, and then you're happy with it. And $30 by December, says WatSky88. Yeah, let me know your Okay, we're going to put the music on. We're going to put the music on, and what I want you guys to do in the comment section is say what do you think the peak of XRP will be within the next 12 months, so even beyond this year, in the next 12 months, because I'd say the bull market could extend into 2026. So I'm going to put the music on, everyone's going to hit the like button. That's the first thing I'm going to ask you to do, and then I'm going to ask you to put in what is going to be the peak price of XRP this cycle, not next cycle, this cycle, the next 12 months, or the next 10 months. And then once you've done that, come over here and hit the like button here as well. So there's a like button in the comment section. I'm going to put the music on, hit the like button, tell me your prediction, where we're going to hit in the next 10 months, this bull cycle, the peak of XRP's price. Put that in the comments, then come into the comment section and hit the like button here as well. Here we go.
The year is 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony, until one day a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
Smash the like button. Let's get 200 likes. Let me know your peak prediction for XRP in the next 10 months. And then hit the like button in the comment section.
Electric Boogaloo.
You see the truth behind the veil, and you know that they're just looking for attention. Oh, you don't let the ruthlessness prevail. Oh, it's time now, light your fires for ascension. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
It's fine, I was just saying hit 150 likes. Let's do it, 20 more likes.
Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Thank you, everyone. Let's see what your suggestions were. A lot of bullish suggestions I've seen, especially Brian with $100. Brian, did you know I meant in the next 10 months? Because $100 in the next 10 months would be absolutely, I won't say impossible, but ridiculous. I think. I love the bullishness of it, though. I love it. $2.75, $4.20. $13.50. I think that's fairly reasonable. $50 is a bit on the high end of my thoughts. $12 is reasonable. $5.50 is pretty reasonable as well. Zach Zate is loving the lyrics. Thank you for doing that. 0.25, Mike. Mike, XRP has been your best ever investment, and you're still pooing all over it. 12 months, possibly in the mid-teens, so 13 to 19. Yeah, possibly. Would be the higher end of what I'm thinking. $32.82. I love it. Who knows what the exact number will be? That's definitely on the higher end of things as well, in my opinion. Like a phoenix, you burst into fire. Thank you, Zach Zate. Next 12 months, $8.50 doesn't. If it doesn't remain a pump and dump, a lot will cash out though. Thank you, Jay Pact. Covering the non-farm payrolls, I'm sure we will be. Martin is going live in the next 5 minutes, so we're going to be ending the show very shortly. 2680 before year end. Nice, Mug Sensei. Can't wait for mine Monday. Paul D, what mug did you get? Is the 4-year anniversary? Let me know. And do you know it's coming on Monday? How do you already know? How do you know it's coming on Monday? We are Phoenix. Your music. Thank you for that. I need this song in ringtone form. I'm sure you can get it. It's just Phoenix. It's not a special. We didn't make it. $50 in the next 10 months. $26 before. I just saw Mike's comment. $26 before the end of 2025. Wow, a lot of bullish answers here. Mike the Ninja, damn, people are so bullish. Yeah, they are. The more bullish people are, the higher the price goes because people won't sell. $3.86 before the end of August, says Brian. I still have XRP, mate. Sorry, Mike. I apologize. You are still holding. I would love to see $3 again. $5 XRP max by the end of the year. What happened to the haters mug? Do you guys really want a haters mug? What do you want on the haters mug? While we're talking about mugs, go and grab your own mug right now. This is the website that has all the mugs. It's the Martin Lucas official shop. We're celebrating 4 years. And the 4-year mug, I'll give you the link to it right now. It's the first time we've got Martin, me, and Vaz on a mug. The 4-year anniversary on the show. There's only 10 of these available here. Brian says defo $100. Wow, very bullish. I love it. We've got the 4-year mug there to celebrate the 4-year anniversary. We've also got Vaz's mug here. There's only 4 of these left as well. He went to Paris. He put in a lot of effort to go do that, and we are celebrating with a mug, his first ever mug with his face and logo on it, celebrating Paris 2025, the Eftol show he went to. There's all sorts as well. You can go on to the XRP merchandise as well. Grab your XRP merchandise as well. You've got the latte mug, same size as this, new design as well. You can go and grab your XRP mug. You can also get it with a jumper and a t-shirt, and you save on that as well as the extra discount you get on the side. So there you go. That's the martinlucasshop.com. I'll keep you up to date with any XRP news, but today's news was pretty big for the first ever XRP ETF. Not by itself, but it is the first ever XRP spot ETF because XRP will be in a ETF which tracks the top tokens. So thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm going to close this poll. I'm going to give you... Oh, I didn't close it. I'm going to close the poll. And then Martin's link is now pinned up above. That's where we're going right now. He's got his show set up, Bank of America XRP Week. So it is time for Martin to go live. So I'm going to end the show now. The poll, $10 XRP this year. Let me have a look at what you guys have said. 68% of you said yes, 24% of you said no, 5% of you aren't invested, and 1% of you want it to go lower. Only 1% want it to go lower. I guess everyone's all in. And only 5% of you are not invested, which is a very small percentage of people, which is very interesting. You've got Martin's show next, XRP Week, Bank of America. So we want to hear what Martin's saying. The link is up above. We'll remember, if there's any XRP news and you are XRP fans, come straight into the channel. I'll be live, or comment on our X. I'll give you my me and Martin's X account. This is Martin's X. You'll see all the news over there when we go live or when we publish the news. You've got my X account as well over here as well. So please do go and follow the X as well, because we will tell you if we're going live or if there's any information. We bring you the real source information. Others bring you fake news. So thank you, everyone. If XRP goes live, what would XRPs? We don't know. That's a hard question to answer. Daily facts, it depends on many, many things. The momentum, the what's going on, the sentiment, all that sort of stuff. So thank you for tuning in. I'll be back every single morning for the morning forecast show. Get ready for Martin's stream coming up next. I'll actually be back for an extra stream later. I'm covering Rachel Reeves's new tax ISA, not new ISA. She's slashing the ISA limit, it seems. I'm going to be covering that news in its own special live stream later on today. So keep an eye out for that. You can always subscribe and do the bell icon if you're interested in that as well. So thank you everyone for tuning in. See you on the next morning forecast show. Before I go, make sure the last thing you do is sign up for the newsletter. You have more time if you need it. I have to get going now. I'll come back. Thank you, Martin. There is a link for the newsletter. I'll see you guys again tomorrow for the morning forecast show. I'll see you later for 2 bits of news I want to cover in its own live stream. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.